Guys, Light and Night. Light and Night. The closed beta test for Southeast Asia opened on the 20th of May, which is a couple of days ago, which means the Otome Gacha that has been huge in China for years is finally becoming accessible for more players outside of China. And I'm actually so curious because I've heard about this game for so long. And for those of you who don't know, Light and Night is a visual novel Otome Gacha where you play as a fashion designer. And the game is known for its romance routes, messaging system, card stories, and this choice system that can actually change how the scenes play out. It's not like one of those fake choices game. And it's been around in China since 2021, but for a lot of us outside of China, it has always been this game we hear about, but can't really properly access. And honestly, the funny thing is, I actually heard about this game some time ago because people were posting some very intense scenes from it online. Like, I remember seeing one clip and going, hello? What is happening? And then I was immediately bummed because I couldn't properly check the game out myself. So, the closed beta test for Southeast Asia opened just a couple of days ago, and with the magic of VPN, I managed to get it working because even though in my blood I am Southeast Asian, physically I'm not in Southeast Asia, so thank God for VPN. And since this is my first closed beta test impression, I'm not going to review every system in the game. I want to focus on the part I care about the most, which is the story, the atmosphere, the characters, and whether the game actually pulls me in. Also, just to be upfront, the CBT timing was pretty tight. I only got my hands on the build on the 24th, so I only had time to play up to chapter 3. That means I only properly met 3 of the love interests. I know that there's 5, so I'm not gonna pretend this is a full CBT review or act like I've seen everything. This is an early story-focused first impression based on what I could actually experience without speedrunning the story, because that's not what I want to do. I did not want to rush myself. I want to properly experience this. So without further ado, let's get into it. So before chapter 1 even starts, Light and Night gives us this short prologue that immediately hints at something much deeper is going on beneath the surface. This is not just a simple modern romance setup, because on paper, the story starts with MC as an aspiring fashion designer trying to make her way into the industry, but this opening is already suggesting hidden history and some kind of bigger mystery behind the world. So right away, I'm getting the sense that Light and Night is working with 2 layers. There's the surface layer, fashion, career, romance, city life, and then there's the hidden layer, secrets, fate, and whatever emotional damage this game is already clearly preparing for us. After that very mysterious opening, chapter 1 brings us into MC's everyday life as an aspiring fashion designer. She's trying to build her career, prove herself creatively, and find her place in the fashion industry. And this is basically the main gateway into the story. Through MC's work and the people connected to that world, we start meeting the love interest one by one. So the romance is introduced through her career path, but at the same time, the fashion industry setup also gives the story a grounded starting point before the bigger mystery and supernatural elements begin to unfold. The first love interest we meet through this setup is Xiao Yi, or Osborn in the English version. If I had to describe Osborn's first impression, he is very much the dangerous bad boy archetype. He's a racer. He's clearly involved with some dangerous people and people are actively chasing him. I mean, that's what we were shown in the first chapter, and the story introduces him as a suspicious figure who just kind of crashes into MC's life. And not gonna lie, at first it was kind of hard to take him seriously because the first moment he showed up, the game started playing this corny ass rock music in the background. It was so it was so cliche. I was like, okay, I see exactly what species of man this is.
Then guess what happens to anyone who messes with me.
He's so stereotypical. Let's see where this goes. And this is where my dignity leaves the room because I was making fun of the entrance and then 5 minutes later, I was like, wait, I get it.
What? You don't want to leave?
No. I want to talk to you more. Wow. Okay. I like him. He's so stereotypical and so cliche, but that's exactly what I like. I like him. But also, if you know me, you know I love cliche when it's fun. And I think that's why Osborn worked for me pretty quickly. The archetype itself is very familiar, but the banter between him and MC made the dynamic entertaining. So by the time I finished chapter 1, he was already like sitting at the top. And I've only met one love interest, not because he's doing something revolutionary, but because the game understands the appeal of this type of character. The target audience is people like me. The next one is Chen, or Evan in the English version, and oh my god, this character. If you like the CEO archetype, I already know this man probably pulled you in immediately. He is introduced as this almost savior-like dependable figure when MC gets followed in chapter 1. My first impression was honestly, 1, he is beautiful. The suit, the red eyes, the voice, the British accent is following.
1 Americano, 1 latte, please.
Oh, it's the British guy. The British guy. What's your name? But what makes him interesting to me is that he feels very reassuring, almost deceptively reassuring. From the encounters I've seen in chapters 1 and 2, Chen gives this dependable male lead energy. He appears when MC is in trouble. He calms the situation down, and he has this very composed presence that makes you feel like, okay, maybe we're safe now. But at the same time, that is exactly why I'm suspicious of him, because he's too calm, too polished, too convenient. The game frames him like comfort, but there's also something about that comfort, that the vibe that he's giving off, that makes me feel very suspicious of him. And also, can we talk about the OST that plays when he shows up? Because I swear that music is doing half the work. It makes every scene with him feel like I accidentally walked into a romantic drama. I was trying to be normal, and then the music started, and suddenly I understood the CEO agenda. And my reaction when I first saw him honestly says everything.
Don't deny it, and don't look back.
Oh my god! Whoa, okay! Helping me? Ooh, the music? The strings? Understated calm. Yo, his OST is making me fall in love with him. Compared to Xiao Yi, I fuck with this OST, and I think the music is doing things to me and my attraction towards this character. Ashtray would suit you best after all. Girl, shut the fuck up, you just met him. This OST is making me fall in love with him. I'm not even joking. So yeah, Osborn got me with the banter, but Chen got me with the atmosphere. He looks like he has secrets, money, and emotional damage. A very dangerous combination. Another thing I noticed pretty quickly is how the game builds its world through these small perspective shifts. Shortly after Chen's part in chapter 1 or 2, again, I don't remember, the game gives you this little side story from the perspective of the cafe worker at the place where MC and Evan or Chen first met. And in the main story, that moment is interrupted because the cafe worker tells you the shop is closing, so you and Evan have to leave. But then the side story reveals that this worker actually has a crush on Chen, and she saw MC with him, and she low-key got jealous and basically kicked both of you out, which is hilarious. The fact that this cafe worker is fantasizing about dating Chen because he gives off this CEO vibes, that cafe worker is me. 1 Americano latte and 1 latte, thank you. It's a gold rim CEO. He actually says this girl is with him and even orders a latte for her. Behind the lenses, in those deep eyes, there's a gentle smile. It's a smile Xiao Jing has never seen before. No, Xiaojing! Is that why you told us that you were gonna close the cafe? But it's also a nice storytelling detail because it makes the world feel less flat. The NPCs are not just background furniture, they have their own little thoughts, crushes, pettiness, and reactions to what's happening around MC. And on top of that, this side story also gives us more information about Evan. It reveals that he's not just some mysterious handsome man who randomly appears at the cafe. He is actually connected to the design competition MC is involved in, which immediately makes his role in the story feel more important and suspicious. The third love interest introduced is Sariel or Li, and Sariel is that one character who sneaks up on you quietly, Sariel is technically the first one we as players see, because MC thinks of him while she's working on her competition piece. Long story short, he is someone MC idolizes as a designer. He is also one of the judges for the competition MC is participating in, so he is directly tied to the thing she has been working so hard towards. And their first proper meeting is basically the epitome of never meet your idol, because oh my god, Sariel is harsh. He absolutely shreds MC's work in public and low-key destroys her morale. And at first, I was taken aback by how harsh he was. So, what kind of... do you wanna... do you want him to keep roasting you? Or do you wanna just drop it? For now, I want him to roast me.
Only the mediocre require explanations to validate their work.
Oh, fuck. Ow!
Everyone else perceives what you want to express through your work. In your work, if I may even call it that.
Oh my god!
I fail to see what...
I bow to him, the gesture sincere. I understand. I will work hard to improve. Thank you. Okay.
What you plan to do is none of my business.
Oh my god. But after a few more interactions with him, I started to understand why his presence is important. I understood his character, because he's not just there to be mean. His character is there to push MC's design journey forward, because up until this point, MC's dream of becoming a designer feels very romantic and aspirational, but Sariel is the first person who makes that dream feel uncomfortable. He forces her to confront the gap between effort and quality, between wanting to create something meaningful and actually having the skill, clarity, and maturity to do it. So through him, the story starts exploring MC's naivety as a creator, as a creative. As for his actual vibe, he is very quiet, restrained, strict, and emotionally controlled. But there are these tiny fleeting moments where you can see something underneath that emotionless front. And because he is so still, so harsh, and so difficult to read, it makes me want to crack that shell open and understand what is actually going on with him. And because later, as we progress more into the story, we work in the same place as him and he is basically your superior. I hate to admit this, but the game got me. I wanted him to praise me. I wanted one crumb of approval. It's embarrassing, but unfortunately, that dynamic works. Ooh, it's a paper of yellowed manuscript. What should I say? Because so far, I noticed that he doesn't like to glaze on people, and like he likes to actually give critique. I'm gonna point out the flaws.
Okay, you can put it down now.
Huh. Does he like it? Did I give the right answer? Does he like my answer? I will say, even though like the first impression that he gave me wasn't like heart fluttering, I did not feel like a teenager that, you know, that just fell in love, because he was kind of a piece of shit. And because I know that in the story he is the MC's like superior, I have this urge to wanna gain his approval. And I think that can be a leeway for players to kind of get to know him better and also fall in love with his character. I get it. I see the appeal. We're only on like chapter 2. I see the appeal. I wanna gain his approval too, fuck. This is my problem with strict mentor type characters. I start off offended and then suddenly I'm trying to earn their respect like my life depends on it. So I know that there's 2 more love interests, Jessie and Charlie. I don't remember their Chinese name, but from what I played, I only played until chapter 3. I have not met them yet. And I think they appear like much later in the story. And since I wanted this to be a genuine first impression instead of me speedrunning the story, I'm not gonna pretend I have proper thoughts on them yet. But from what I know, Jesse seems to be the childhood friend character, so he probably has that more familiar personal connection to MC, and I think he's the youngest one. And Charlie is interesting because he is apparently tied to this fiancé setup, which already sounds messy. The way Otome stories love to be messy. His voice is also teased pretty early in chapter 1. I think that is Charlie. So even before he properly appears, the game is already planting him in the background. So I'm definitely curious about both of them, especially because they seem to represent two very different types of emotional history with MC. Jessie as a person connected to her past, and Charlie as someone tied to this more messy, complicated relationship setup. But honestly, even with just the early introductions I played through, I already got a pretty good sense of what the game is trying to do. Each love interest seems to pull MC into a different emotional and narrative direction. And after only playing up to chapter 3, I already get the sense of the story's allure. Because yes, the early chapters are very much city life, career pressure, fashion industry, romance, and meeting the love interest one by one. But underneath all that, there is clearly something brewing. Each love interest has something suspicious or hidden teased from the very beginning. Osborn is involved in danger we don't fully understand yet. Chen feels too calm and too conveniently connected to MC's world. There's also, stuff about his family. Sariel, it has this quiet, almost otherworldly presence that makes him feel like he knows more than he says. And there's also so much supernatural things being sprinkled in the story here and there. I really, really like it. So even though I'm still really early, I can already tell the romance is not the only hook here. There is definitely a supernatural lore side to the story, and that is the part that makes me want to keep playing. And for the lore nerds who love it when stories pull from real-life mythology, Light and Night does not seem shy about it at all. Even really early on, I think in chapter 2 or 3, the game references mythological ideas and imagery like Sumerian myth, Fuxi and Nuwa, and twin serpent symbolism. So I can already tell that once the game starts properly uncovering what is actually happening underneath the fashion career, city life setup, it's probably gonna be juicy as hell. I can genuinely see myself playing this game and getting invested in it. Aside from the main story, the game actually gives you quite a few little systems and mini games. After finishing story sections, you'll have these battle stages where you break puzzle pieces using your cards. At first it seems pretty simple, but as you progress, you do have to start leveling your cards and paying attention whether the colors match the stage requirements. Obviously, that's not the main reason I would play this game, but I do think it works as a bridge between story sections. It gives you something to do without pulling the focus too far away from the narrative. There's also the crafting aspect, which I thought was really cute because it ties back to MC being a designer. When the story involves her creating certain items, the game turns that process into this little rhythm mini game, and honestly, I really enjoyed it. And the music is also really, really nice. And then there's, I think it's called Fateful Encounter, which from what I understand, I might be wrong, but from what I understand, this is where you get more individual stories with the love interest. And I think it's separate also from the cards. I only managed to explore one chapter of Osborn's story, and it was about him taking MC to street racing. And I think my reaction to this story says everything because yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. Another thing I really like is the whole Light and Night ending system in the main story. Your choices, they actually matter, and depending on what you choose, you can unlock different endings for the chapter. It makes me want to go back and see what changes if I choose differently, instead of just clicking through and treating every choice like it doesn't matter, like it's just decoration. Once you reach one ending, you can unlock another one using an item, and from what I saw, I don't think it's that difficult to get. So yeah, I can definitely see myself replaying the story just to unlock different endings and see how the scene changed. So, final thoughts? Will I play Light and Night when it officially releases for Southeast Asia? Absolutely. I'm invested. Am I going to cover the lore? If a lot of you are interested, I might. If not, I'll just play for the sake of playing because it's fun. Overall, I had fun. The game has a lot of content. The story is clearly the main appeal. The love interests have strong first impressions, and the world already feels like it has layers waiting to be uncovered. This was only my early CBT impression, but honestly, I get it. I understand the hype now. I understand why it's so popular in China. But yeah, anyways, guys, this was a quick one. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you want, and consider subscribing if you enjoy my content. Again, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye. Chiseli is, Sariel. Fuck, I keep mixing up these names. As my professional instinct has kicked in again. That is not professional instinct. You're being weird. What are you doing here? Who are you? Why are you? Why does the straight out?
What are you doing?
Calling the police? You took my brooch!
You think I stole it, don't you?
Yeah,